सामाजिक शिक्षण प्रसारक मंडळ नासिक. My school name is Shrey B.N. Sarda Vidyalay. Sankuul is Sinha, subject General Science, Standard 6, and my name is Srimati Smita Ashok Patole. Today we are going to learn about natural resources. For that purpose, let us read the following things: water, bucket, grains, comb, shoes, milk, laptop, pencil, books, fruits, vegetables, television, trees, animals, and etc. Now what we have to do? We have to classify these things into two groups: the things which we get from nature and the things which are made by the man. Here I have classified for you that the things which we get from nature are water, grains, milk, fruits, vegetables, trees, animals. And the things which are made by man are bucket, comb, shoes, laptop, pencil, books, and television. From this, what we can do? We can have the definition of natural resources as well as man-made resources. The things which we get from nature are called natural resources, and the things which are made by man or prepared by man are called man-made resources. Now, in this lesson, we are going to learn about natural resources. What are natural resources? Water, air, land, plants, animals, and minerals are natural resources. But in this lesson, we are going to learn more about natural resources like water, air, and land. So, let's begin our study. Here, there is a picture for you. Here in this picture you can see the birds are flying in the sky, there is an aeroplane in the sky, cloud is in the sky, then there is a animal on the land, trees are on the land, there is a car on the land, mountains are on the land, and here you can see the fish are swimming in the water, there is a boat in the water. So the things which occupies the air portion or which are in the air, like birds, clouds, and aeroplane is flying in the air, that part of the air forms the atmosphere of the earth. That is one of the sphere of the earth. And the place where we can see the water, where the fish are swimming in the water, boat is in the water part on the earth forms the hydrosphere of the earth. And on the land we can see that we live on the land, we use the land, animals are on the land, trees are on the land. So that part of the land forms the lithosphere. So like this we have three spheres, that is first one lithosphere, then we have hydrosphere, and then we have atmosphere. These all three spheres together, when they comes together, they forms the biosphere. Here we can see that air, water, and land are called Earth's atmosphere, hydrosphere, and lithosphere respectively. And the things occupy these three spheres like us. These living things and the parts of the lithosphere, hydrosphere, atmosphere which they occupy are together called biosphere. Here there is a definition for you about the natural resources, that is air, water, and land are the factors important for sustaining, means that we use that factors. Without them we are not able to live on the land. If air is not there, if water is not there, and if land is not there, we are not able to live on the land. Then here you can see this picture. In this picture you can see there is a light bluish part which surrounds the earth, and this bluish part is the atmosphere of the earth. Then on the earth there is a blue color and there is a green color. The blue color forms the blue color is of the water and the green color is of the land. But in this picture what we can see that blue color is more as compared to the green color. That means water percentage is more on the earth as compared to the land. That is, water is more. So the surface of the earth compromises water and land. That is the hydrosphere and the lithosphere. And hydrosphere occupies a much larger part than the lithosphere. Here I have a picture for you. in this you can see that if the water is available on the earth, if the earth is 100%, in that 100%, 71% is for the water and 29% is for the land. Then we will see, now we will start with our natural resources. First we are going to see about the air. Now the first natural resources we are going to learn, that is air. Here there are the layers of atmosphere. Air is nothing but the atmosphere. As we go up and up, the thickness of the air reduces. So when the mountaineers climbs on the mountain, they carry oxygen cylinder with them. In the air, that is in the atmosphere, there are 5 layers: troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere or ionosphere and exosphere. In troposphere we all live, we all breathe in the troposphere. It is from 0 to 10 km. Then from 10 to 50 km there is a stratosphere. In the stratosphere there is a ozone layer, which is very important for us. Then after that, beyond that 50 to 80 km there is a mesosphere, and after mesosphere there is a ionosphere or thermosphere, and after that there is a exospheres. After exospheres we enter into the space. Like this, how many layers are in the atmosphere? Troposphere, stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere or ionosphere and exosphere. Now we are going to look. There are different kinds of gases in the air. Their proportion is also different. So what are their proportion? That we are going to see. Now see in this diagram, if the air is 100%, if the air is 100%, in that 100%, 78% is for the nitrogen. Then after that there is a oxygen which occupies more space after nitrogen in the air, that is 21%. After oxygen there is a argon which occupies 0.9% in the atmosphere or in the air. After that there are the other constituents of air, that is 0.07%, which is shown with the purple color. In that other constituents there are inert gases, there is a water vapor, all that things comes in the 0.07%. And here you can see the blue part which shows 0.03% of the carbon dioxide. But nowadays, as the population is increasing, the rate of vehicles is also increasing. So the proportion of carbon dioxide is also increasing in the air. Now we will see the uses, some uses of gases in the air. Here we know that nitrogen is very necessary for produce proteins. But how we get nitrogen in our body? Like oxygen, we are not able to breathe nitrogen in our body. Then that nitrogen, how it comes in our body? It comes from the green vegetables. So students, we should eat green vegetables. So nitrogen helps living thing to build the necessary proteins, and that proteins help us to build up our cells. It is useful in the production of ammonia and in the airtight packaging of foodstuffs. We all take different kinds of foodstuffs that is packed from outside. In that packed foodstuffs you take Lays, Kurkure, chips, all that you take. In that nitrogen gas is used. After that there is a oxygen. Oxygen is necessary for the respiration, but oxygen also helps for burning. Then there is carbon dioxide. We know that carbon dioxide is harmful for us, but carbon dioxide is useful for the plants to prepare their food, and it is also useful to put out the fire. So in fire extinguishers carbon dioxide is used. Then there is a argon which is used in the electrical bulbs. There is a helium gas which is used for obtaining the low temperature and also for generating lift in the airships. There is a neon used in the decorative lights and for the street lighting. Krypton is used in fluorescent tubes, and xenon is used in the flash photography. After this, now you have to observe these three pictures. What is the similarity between these pictures? We can see that there is a gas, there is a smoke which is coming out from these all three pictures, but that smoke is very harmful for us because that smoke get mixed with the air and which leads to the air pollution. Here you can see that all the people are standing in the traffic but they are not putting off their vehicles. Due to that, what happens? Due to that, there is a continuous emission of carbon dioxide, and if we try to breathe in such an atmosphere, we are not able to breathe. So carbon dioxide then get mixed with the air and we suffer from the air pollution. Here you can see that this burning of forest also produce different types of gases. From factories also we get different types of gases, and that gases are very harmful for us because it leads to air pollution. From factories and for burning of forest and from the vehicles pollution, there are the harmful gases like carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide and soot. They are very, very harmful for us. But when they get mixed with the air, what happens? They harms our ozone layer. Where we have seen this ozone layer? In the layer of the atmosphere, that is troposphere, there was an ozone layer. What does this ozone layer do? This ozone layer help us or protect us from the ultraviolet rays which comes from the sun. Then what that ultraviolet rays do? That ultraviolet rays are very harmful for us. They may cause skin diseases to us. And these skin diseases are very, very serious for us. So to protect from ultraviolet rays, this ozone layer, what it does, it filters the sunlight. But as the population is increasing, the use of refrigerator is increasing, use of air conditions is using, and from increasing, so from the refrigerator, from conditioner, chlorofluorocarbon, carbon tetrachloride, all are releasing, and what happens? They are making hole in our ozone layer. Here you can see the ultraviolet ray is coming from the hole in the ozone layer. If this happens continuously, further what will happen? We will suffer from skin diseases. Now further what we will see? We will see that ozone layer as a protective shell. Why ozone layer is a protective shell? I have already told you that ozone layer is a protective shell because it protects us from the ultraviolet rays which are coming from the sun. And why this ozone layer gets distracted? Because carbon tetrachloride and chlorofluorocarbons used in the air conditioner and refrigerator get mixed with the air, and when they get mixed with the air, they harms our ozone layer. So at least for one day, what we should do, at least for one day, we should use cycle or we should walk at least for one day, that is on 16th September. 16th September is observed as a ozone day, ozone protection day, so that we should not use our vehicles or we should not use our air conditioner and refrigerator. So what you have to do, you have to use your brain power. What would have happened if there were no air on the earth? What would have happened? We would have not been able to live because we are not able to live without oxygen. If we close our nose for 1 minute also, we will feel uneasy. And the question for you is, the ozone layer is a protective shell of the earth. If we have to say yes, what will be the answer? We can give that ozone layer is a protective shell of the earth because it protects us from the ultraviolet rays which comes from the sun, and they are very harmful for us. Now next